the man you are in a relationship with might be testing you. A good number of men out there love to test their women. They test their women to see if that woman is deserving of respect according to them. Testing in relationship is not restricted to men alone. Some women also test men in relationship, but the focus here is what men do to women in relationships. So right now we are discussing men testing women in relationship before they decide to respect that woman.
Men are always testing you, whether you realize it or not. They are sitting back with their hands folded and just watching you from the corner of their eye. Let me see how she's going to react in this situation. Let me see how she's going to maneuver if I say this. Let me see what kind of woman she is if I ask her to go pick me up a $20 meal while she's on her way to my house. Let me see if she's nurturing. Let me see if she's a wife. Let me see if she would be a good mother. Let me see.
Hello fam, how you all doing? Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. Being in a relationship, have you ever felt like the man you have in your life is constantly testing you? Whether you guys just started dating, you've known him for a short period of time, or you guys have been dating for a long time. Have you ever felt that way? Has he ever given you a reason to think, oh, maybe this man is testing me? It's no accident. He might truly be testing you. Men have an instinctual habit of pushing you to your limits to see how you're going to react, and that will tell if they will truly respect you. A lot of men do that.
The reason why men test you is for two reasons. One, humans always need to test for weakness to see whether or not they're going to take advantage of you. That's how humans are. Just like a class tests the substitute teacher to see if they're a pushover, they usually test it to see whether or not they deserve respect. Two, because people, most likely you're sending signs of weakness, and so they test you to confirm it. They'll push your buttons, they'll pull away, they'll act distant to see whether or not you'll pursue. And if you pursue, you confirm to them that you're weak, and all of a sudden, a person who might have been meek and nice and polite, all of a sudden turns into a tyrant. That's why you should always display signs of power. Always be willing to walk away. Once you do that, you give them a deterrent, and that deterrence prevents people from manipulating you, prevents people from trying to play you.
That man is playing with your emotions and playing with your time, and he knows you are available. He knows that you are ready and willing at a drop of a dime, and he's already figured out who you are. It's almost like some men, it's not most, will put you to the test. They want to see how far they can go with you. So they're going to call you every day, then they're going to miss a couple of calls. And they want to see if you're going to react to it, or if you're going to call back, or if you're going to be holding your breath by the phone. It's all a game. They want to see how far they can go with you. Oh, when I met her, she was that girl. She was fly. Oh my gosh. Her self-esteem was through the roof. Now she's by the phone call. I could just cancel plans and she'll be available tomorrow. As a matter of fact, she'll be available tonight. Who I'm talking to. This is how men are thinking. They are testing you, your self-worth. They're trying to see if you really are that girl. Because on these apps, you're saying you live a soft life. He better make this. He better have that. He adore me, Dior me. He better make $150K per year. Now they sitting across the table with you, and all it takes is chicken and rice, ambiance, and a candle, and a center of the table. That's all it takes. Chicken and rice. With dim lighting. And now you're buckling under pressure. He said this was an easy one. Now I know she made it easy. She has a great body, or she's young and she's beautiful. She looks like that one. That one may just be a little lighter, a little darker, a little thinner, a little bit heavier, may have a different job. But they all kind of in the same group. So now I could get away with it with her too. You see why it starts with us, ladies? It starts with us. I'm just saying.
The tricky part here is this. Those men will never let you know what their plan is. It's a secret to them. They just do it by themselves. And if you're a lady that is truly interested in that man, and your aim is to stay with that man and pass that test, you have to keep watching, because in this video I will discuss ways to figure out those subtle tests and how you can pass those tests with flying colors. That is, if you're focusing on passing the test. Keep watching. The number one test I have on my list today is the boundary test. Men often push boundaries to see if you respect yourself enough to enforce limits. This can be as simple as him making a suggestion that you're obviously not comfortable with, or him trying to steer the conversation to a direction you're not happy with. These situations give him an opportunity to assess how much you're willing to compromise your standards.
Me setting boundaries is not me rejecting you. It's protecting me. I'll look you square in your face and tell you that I love you with all my heart, but that doesn't mean that you have access to it. I can love you truly, deeply, with the love of God, but because of your behaviors, the way that you think, the inconsistency of your decisions, because I see how you handle your life, I choose not to give you permission to handle my life that way. It's my responsibility to do that for me.
One thing that we did in this relationship, because I knew it was going to last, is I set my boundaries right from the jump. I go, if you walk unaccordingly to God, you'll be so fast outside, you have no idea. Like, I will never love you as much as my God. This is what comes with how I act. If you want this type of man, then you could be here. The man who's going to provide, that's going to love you, that's going to be there for you. But also, don't give me attitude and don't ever try to check me with authority. I'm not trying to discuss leadership here. It's either you're coming or you're being left behind. There is no conversation about this. And there was never one she was like, oh my God, how dare you? No, why? Because she was like, no, I'll sign up for that. That makes sense. I want a man that I know I'm protected by. I know that loves me. I know that, oh God, he fears God, so he's not going to go and mess around with another chick behind my back.
That's right.
So choose what is okay with you and establish that in the beginning of your relationship. Do not fall in love with potential. Fall in love with patterns.
Boundaries are your best friend, especially when you have a big heart. God told me recently, he said, the reason you constantly have to keep on blocking people and cutting people off is because you don't have boundaries. You haven't understood and learned to grasp the concept of giving people limits to their access of you. You love somebody or you like somebody, so you love them and you just let them into your whole world. You disclose everything that you got in your hand too soon. You become friends with people too soon. You give your body away too soon. You don't give people boundaries, therefore they don't even know when they are crossing them. You hear what I'm saying? So the bigger you are at heart, that's the bigger your boundary should be.
Still on boundaries, if you let little things slide, he might assume that you don't have firm boundaries, which can affect the way he treats you and respects you. The key to handle a situation like this is not for you to be harsh, but you need to be assertive. You should calmly tell him this is not for you when you're not happy with a situation. That way, he will understand that you know your worth and men respect that. Another test men use on women is the disappearing act. Look out for it. This is a classic test a lot of men out there use. I'm pretty sure you know the drill. The disappearing, the ghosting strategy. I've spoken about it here on this channel. At first, things will be working well. You think you found a good man, your relationship is sailing and everything is good. Then he goes quiet. He goes ghost on you with no apparent reason, no good reason whatsoever. He is testing you, and I don't think you should accept that because it's very disrespectful.
You fall for the okie doke when a man just randomly disappears on you. You just let him disappear. The problem with a lot of women, they be feeling like they have some connection with these men, and then they get upset with themselves and vulnerable, crying and blowing up the man's phone and double texting him because she's trying to figure out what just happened. Ain't nothing happened. You probably just didn't give the cat up easily. That's why he's disappearing on you. That's why he's slowing down on texting you. You don't fall for it. You don't fall for the bullshit. You just say to yourself, all right, I know what this is. I know what this is. And that's just too bad. He want to disappear. I can disappear even better. And once he realized that you're not texting him, you're not blowing his phone up at all, you're not calling, you're not doing anything but living your life, that's when they come back. That's when they want to kiss your ass. And they also have to do the work now.
I want to start a family with you.
What? So I just saw this video on TikTok
And I saw some of the comments, and a lot of the comments were like, you know, my man took me to look at engagement rings and the next day he ghosted me. My man told me that he wanted to marry me and for me to have his kids. The next day he ghosted me. My man said he wanted to meet my parents and he ghosted me. My man had just said, I love you. And then he ghosted me. And there was another comment where somebody was like, this is obvious why men do this. Men do this because they're afraid of their feelings. No. Like, I know that there are some rare occasions where that's the case, and they want you to think that. They want you to think there's some deep, special, emotional reason for why they ghosted you. But I believe it's because some men love to cosplay as good guys when they really are bad guys. I think some men do this because they want you to give them that good guy treatment. They want you to treat them as if they had done all these things. And if all they have to do is sell you a dream, sell you a fantasy, talk a good game, that's exactly what they'll do. This is why you don't get caught up on what a man is telling you. You wait to see the actions. I don't care if you say, I want to marry you one day, I want to have your kids. Where's my ring? You're not getting the treatment of a man who has proposed to me, the treatment of a man who I'm engaged to, if you're not that guy. Like, some men will tell you anything and everything. And some men, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. The cruelty is the point. Some men, they get a kick out of seeing what they can talk you into, especially if they can get a good girl to do bad things for them. I don't care what he tells you, make him prove it, or it didn't happen, or he doesn't mean it. There are men out here who try to seduce women and talk women into doing certain things for sport. They get with their guy friends and they laugh about all the things they have convinced you of. Don't fall for this. If he is genuine about all the things that he's telling you, about all the promises that he's making you, make him prove it. And do not start acting like he already did.
Talk they say is cheap. Do not listen to them. Some men are good at building castle with their mouth in the air. But when it comes to time for action, time for them to implement whatever they're saying and execute it, they're always nowhere to be found. You don't have to believe if you don't see. Seeing they say is believing. Wait till when you see before you start believing. For the ghosting test, it is a subconscious test. They use that test to see if you will panic and chase them or you will ignore them and continue to live your life. The best way to respond in the ghosting situation is for you to maintain composure. Ignore them. Don't text them. Don't call them. Don't bombard them with text messages and keep asking them questions and all that. Act like nothing happened. Act like they are the real ghost, like you've seen a ghost and you're not seeing the ghost at the same time. You get what I mean? Like they are invisible. You need to act that way. And when they see that you are behaving this way, they will come to the realization that you're not that type of a woman. You're an independent person. You're confident and you don't depend on them for your happiness. And that commands a different level of respect. Men also use the emotional reaction test. This test happens when a man says something that he obviously knows might trigger you, might upset you, but he goes ahead to say it so he can see the way you're going to react to that situation. The emotional reaction test is an abuse, in my own opinion. Narcissists, they use emotional reaction to deal with their victim. Have you ever heard of the word reactive abuse? Let's talk about it.
I'm a therapist, and here's how reactive abuse works. The abuser needs proof that their victim is unstable, delusional, or at fault somehow in order to keep the blame away from themselves. So the abuser does something to trigger the victim, and the victim responds like this.
And you're going to end up alone, and you deserve it, because you're a superficial, selfish, and prejudiced person.
The abuser can now manipulate and use the victim's response against them, saying they're the ones that are abusive. They may even call police or tell family in order to have this officially on record and make the victim look like the evil one instead of them. If someone's going to stay in a relationship like this, there are things they can practice in therapy to help them control their external response when the abuser tries this again.
I'm Jack. And they're shot. Yeah, I'm not the joke. She thought, and I'm gonna ask you, like, well, it's bad. You just up out, just take it easy off. Then I'm so worried. I was at the end of the world.
Stop.
Stop. That's the top of
Stop. Go. Please stop. I know. Please. It's deep. Stop it. Stop. Stop, please. Whoa.
This is how reactive abuse looks like.
How?
Let's try to take the date.
Watching that video is so triggering, not only because today marks 1 year since it happened, but because I only just discovered that video existed. If you have ever questioned whether evil exists in this world or not, go look into the eyes of a DV survivor and ask them. It was always a matter of when, not if I was going to get out, but when. I was hoping to get together money. I was hoping to be able to have a plan, but it didn't work out that way. His hatred for me seemed to be growing. Everything I did annoyed him. I know that if I didn't go to the police when I did in September, that I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here today to be able to tell you this story. And I thought, by posting that video, I wasn't trying to make it my identity. I just thought that if I posted it and enough people saw it, then not only will I be spreading awareness and hopefully another woman won't get hurt, but then maybe he won't actually, end my existence, because so many people will have saw the video, they will have known who it was. Anyone going through something like this right now, my heart is with you and breaks for you, and I pray for your safety. And to all of you who have offered me words of support, I can't thank you enough.
Men use the emotional reaction on women to see how much in control women are over their emotions. If you react and act out of control, that is definitely you telling the man that you don't have that much control over your emotions. And if a man that is looking to prey on you, that will be a good spot to start from. However, if you maintain composure and you did not react, if you don't act out of control and you control your emotions, that is a sign to him that you are grounded emotionally and you're matured emotionally. The next test men use on women is the loyalty test. A lot of men out there do value loyalty, but I doubt if they are loyal to their women or they're even willing to be loyal to their women. So men test for loyalty in a subtle way in relationships. Your man might mention other guys or create a situation just to test your commitment and loyalty to him. He might even invite other guys to test you to see if you're going to fall for other guys. Some men out there can be that stupid.
Here's why every man should loyalty test their girlfriend.
He goes on to say that because if I proved to me, most girls can be willing to cheat if the right guy comes along and he recommends you do one of his loyalty tests. I'm going to give you that's a much simpler, easier way. What you do is you ask your girlfriend, hey, can I use your phone real quick? If she hesitates, she gets weird about it, looks like she's like, oh, then chances are she's cheating on you. If she's like, yeah, sure, babe, then you're in the clear.
You already know the drill. Guy pops up to me saying loyalty test on my girl. So I say let's do it, and I send him my PayPal. He sends me the app and says see if she entertains, and if she does, ask for some pictures or something to see if she sends. I'll click on her profile. I see she posted a nice little selfie pic on her stories, so I literally just slid in saying, guys, you have to understand, girls are getting 100 DMs left, right, center every single day by different guys, so you have to make your DM stand out a bit. Me, I try to add a bit of intrigue to my first message. So she replies saying, what? I say, I'm just trying to figure out how you're crafted so perfectly. OMG, why did I think it was going to be something bad? So I say the only thing bad here is the fact that I've never seen you before, but it's cool, we can work on that. Yeah, of course, you haven't. I'm a homebody and I don't be going out like that. So I ask her, really, would you be doing at home? So she says that naturally she's more of an introverted person, but most of the time she's either studying or reading. Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Me, myself, I prefer reading non-fiction books. So she's like, you read laughing emoji. That's not the first impression I got from your profile. And hold on. Yeah, I got my own soundtrack. So I'm like, why make judgments online when you can get to know me in person? And as requested, I ask her if she's single, in which she says, Habibi, do you think you would get a reply if I was single? Respect me, please. I can't lie, the gaslighting is mad, because the way she said that with such confidence, for a second, I really believed that she was single. And separately, I can't be the only one where getting called Habibi just... So I say, fair enough, send me your number. I'm not too much of a texter myself. She ends up saying me neither, to be honest, and ends up giving me the number. Yeah, this part here is mad. So I end up sending him the screenshots and telling him that she failed. He says, I knew it, bro. Can you ask her to send you pictures and screenshot it so we can see if she fails fully? Like, that isn't failing already, and unblur the number so I can see if it's actually her number. Yeah, this guy is tweaking, cause I am not about to be asking for pictures of a random girl. That's another test done. I'm gonna...
Eighth way guys test women is testing loyalty and commitment. Loyalty forms the backbone of any profound connection. A man might place you in situations to see if you stand by his side or if your allegiance wavers. On a deeper psychological level, testing loyalty is tied to primal fears of abandonment and betrayal. Trust, once broken, can be hard to rebuild. By evaluating your loyalty, he's protecting his emotional vulnerability, ensuring he doesn't invest deeply in a bond that might waver. Julius Caesar famously asked, "Also you, Brutus?" upon his assassination. Caesar was a Roman leader betrayed by those he trusted. This utterance shows the pain of betrayal from a close ally. 3 specific examples of what this could look like are: number 1, sharing a secret with you to see if it remains so. Number 2, introducing you to tempting situations. Number 3, observing how you talk about him when he's not around.
Ladies, some men are constantly testing their women, be it in relationship, in a long-term relationship, a newly formed relationship, or a long marriage that has been there for a very long time, or even in a newly started marriage. Men are constantly testing. A good number of men are doing this. So men are testing out of insecurity. They are scared that what they are doing out there, what they are doing to that woman, the woman might do it to them. Because of their insecurities, they're trying to put measures that can prevent that woman from cheating, from doing what they are doing to that woman outside. Some men are testing due to trauma, due to past experience. Just to wrap everything up, just know that some men are constantly testing women in their relationship, and it's up to you to figure it out, or you live your life and act like you don't care. Some of the tests are not to be accepted because they are disrespectful. Imagine being with a man and the man is ghosting you, like Kilode. Imagine a man asking another man to come sleep with you just because he wants to test you. Like, that's an insult. There's some certain things you shouldn't take from a man. Have your boundaries, stick to your boundaries, and make sure you don't change your boundaries or lower your standard for any man. If you would love to watch more on men calling out other men for their selfishness, if you'd love to watch video on how selfish some men are in relationship and marriages, click this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.